Hi there, my name is JazminSanford, and I got question number 2 from chapter 14. And that question was concerning selecting a part of the travel industry that I'm most interested in and trying to improve how they promote their business. And how would I present that information, and essentially mentioning the advantages and disadvantages of the 5 promotional mix elements. So I love travel, so I chose the travel industry, and my travel industry was called Take Me Away Travel Agency. And I kind of wanted to go over what is the promotional mix. Promotional mix, of course, represents the combination of advertising, personal selling, sales promotion, merchandising, and public relations and publicity approaches used for a specific time period. And the goal of promotional mix is to inform, persuade, and remind your customer about your product or service. And then, of course, I break down the 5 different elements of the promotional mix, which I mentioned before. Advertising, personal selling, sales promotion, merchandising, public relations, and publicity. As you see, advertising, we all know what that means. You're placing announcements and persuasive messages out there to not only inform your audience, but also to remind them of the product you're selling and the message you're trying to get out to them. Some of the advantages of advertising would be the low cost per contact, which would essentially mean even though it costs you some money to put out those ads, overall in the long run it pays off because you're getting your ads across to millions of people who potentially will buy into your product. Also, you have the ability to reach customers where and when salespersons cannot. You're going into their homes when they're comfortable and selling your product to them, and this could be them watching TV at night, in the morning, whenever, in their pajamas, and they're still getting the message of your product. It also represents a great scope for creative versatility and dramatization of messages. You can reach out to a customer, and you're very creative in how you do it. You can have a catchy song, catchy images that really stick in their mind, and that leads into the next one, ability to create images that salespersons cannot. You can use graphic designs, use very bright and colorful images that really make your product stand out from the rest. And also its non-threatening nature, and they don't feel like they have to buy. It's that when you walk into a store, when somebody automatically approaches you and says, "Can I help you?" You kind of already feel pressured into you have to buy a product, but when it comes into their house through advertisement, they don't feel that pressure necessarily. And also the potential to repeat the message several times. There's oftentimes we see ads and commercials numerous times, so it starts to stick in our heads and we see that image often, and that product is there in our head. And then there's also the prestige and impressiveness of mass media advertising. Through these ads, the consumers can potentially view our brand with a higher esteem and credibility because we're on the big screen, and we've made it. People have heard of us, so we seem a little more credible. So essentially, with Take Me Away Travel Agency, it would be great to use TV ads and print ads to really get and stick into the minds of customers and consumers. Some of the disadvantages of advertising go into the inability to close sales. You're not making that personal one-on-one connection, so you don't know immediately if you're going to get that sale or not. Advertising clutter, we often get too many advertisements in the mail, so we automatically throw out our junk mail and we're over it. Customers' ability to ignore the advertising messages, whether we just automatically throw the junk mail away or we're skipping past commercials thanks to TiVo and DVR. There's also the difficulty getting immediate response or action. When you're doing advertisement, it's not necessarily you have to buy it right away. It sticks in their mind maybe, and maybe they'll come in and buy it. There's also the inability to get quick feedback and to adjust the messages that you would get with personal selling. When you're doing personal selling, you can see if the customer's liking what you're selling or not, and then try to adjust to sell it to them. There's also the difficulty measuring advertising effectiveness, which also comes into seeing it's hard to determine if the customer bought because of the ad or because the ad only helped further encourage them to buy what they had already intended to buy on. Personal selling, that involves the oral conversation. That's the one-on-one. I'm selling to you. I know what you need. I'm asking you questions. I'm getting your feedback. I'm finding out what you're looking for, how much money you want to spend, and selling you the exact item that you're looking for. And with that, you build a relationship which encourages you to want to come back and buy more items from me. And then I also get that immediate purchase, or not if you don't want to buy the item. Some of the disadvantages of personal selling include the high cost per contact, which include having to pay the salesperson a salary and the travel cost that goes with that. Also, the inability to reach some customers effectively. Some people don't like the personal selling because they don't want to have that I have to buy right now feeling. We also move on to sales promotions, which this includes, your coupons, your discounts. We use the combination of some advantages of advertising and personal selling, so, coupons through mail and email. It provides a quick feedback if we have a coupon running for a certain time frame, Memorial Day, President's Day. Also, the ability to add excitement to a service or product. Every year, certain stores have semi-annual sales that many customers anticipate, such as Victoria's Secret and Bath & Body Works, that a lot of women look forward to. Additional ways to communicate with guests and customers. We can do doorknob hangers with coupons and informative services, and offering coupons for additional services with purchase. Flexible timing, using certain coupons to draw business for certain slow days. If we're usually slow on Mondays, we can run a deal to, increase revenue within our doors. And also efficiency. It's low cost, but very efficient. It costs money initially, but it brings in more revenue as more people are coming through the door. So essentially with that, we could offer a discount off of a first purchase with our company, or if we can provide a discount on some aspect of the travel, like part of your hotel is discounted, or you get food and beverage at a certain discounted rate. Then we move on to some of the disadvantages. It's a short-term benefit. It doesn't usually lead to long-term increases. Also, it's ineffective in building long-term loyalty for company or brand, because usually it's most appealing to customers who are, balancing back and forth between brands, looking for the best deal. It's also it's the inability to be used on its own with long-term without other promotional mix elements, which it's usually better if it's supported by other promotional techniques such as advertisement. It's often misused. It's a short-term fix to long-term marketing problems. trying to steal away customers instead of building solid relationships with loyal, long-standing customers. Then we go to merchandising, point of purchase advertising. Perhaps when the guest travels and they want to book a trip through our site, we offer them a discount on their next purchase, redeemable within a certain time frame. And some of the advantages of this would be combining some of the advantages of advertising and personal selling, providing quick feedback, It allows flexible timing. Some of the ones that are really important: stimulates an impulse purchase and higher per capita spending, which we're trying to get the customers to make purchases that they didn't intend on making, and also supporting for advertising campaigns, receiving a friendly reminder of your purchase, i.e. like McDonald's and Burger King, they do toys and Happy Meals. We perhaps give you a discount on, a hotel, the food, beverage, Disadvantage of this, it doesn't necessarily give customers a financial incentive sometimes. It's also more effective when used with personal selling and advertisements, so it doesn't stand alone. Also, it contributes to visual clutter, which guests get tired of looking at, and they're tired of seeing all these promos, Lastly, we have the public relations and publicity, which it's important to become connected to a lot of the media and encourage them to speak of our brand and represent us. Advantages: low cost, because the media is already putting you out there. Effective, because so many people can hear it. People tend to treat public relation messages with more credibility than they would with advertisements. Also, if you hear a critic, encourage or disencourage you to use a brand, you're more likely to go with that opinion. Also, prestige and impressiveness of the mass media coverage. When you're in the news, people are paying a little bit more attention to that business. Added excitement and dramatization. Highly publicized openings and coverings from newscasters who can highlight exciting details about the new organization. It really generates a buzz feed about our organization. And maintaining a public presence. It ensures that the organization maintains a positive presence in the public's view. Some disadvantages would be it's difficult to arrange consistency, and there's a lack of control of what the public's going to say about you. You can't decide whether or not they're going to bash you or they're going to praise you all the time. And here are just some really great promo ads that we should check out.
Way back then, we had the horse and carriage.
There was no television then. People listen to the radio.
Get the clothes out, wash them on the washboard, the 45 would drop, and it would play.
Have you held the rabbit ears in exactly the right position? I used to have to parallel park myself. The LS. Unprecedented. At your Lexus dealer. How does drinking Evian make you feel? Come on, I said that here. You hit it to the hip, hop, you don't stop, the rocket to the bang, bang, boogie, say up, jump, the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie to beat. Now what you hear is not a test, I'm rocking to the beat, and me, the groove, and my friends gonna try to move your feet. See, I am Wonder Mike, and I'd like to say hello.
And so those are really great, promos that really catch your attention and make you think, it sticks in your mind. Especially that Evian one makes me think, well, I need to drink Evian to be younger and hip. And then here's just a final one to go over the promo mix.
First task of promotion, to inform. But they also need to know the benefits of the product to get to the next vital stage, to
part with their cash.
And that does it for me, and here are my references. Thank